Welcome to today's Brand Origin Deep Dive, where we peel back the layers of global giants to reveal the human stories and unexpected twists at their core. You've heard of the devices, but do you know how a small trading company dealing in dried fish and noodles laid the chaotic foundation for a technological empire that shapes billions of lives? It's a journey less about sleek design labs and more about dusty warehouses and rough-spun fabrics. If you find value in this kind of storytelling, consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps more than you know in bringing these histories to light. And let us know in the comments where you're watching from, or what you already know, or think you know, about this brand's beginnings. Let's dive in and discover how it all began. You stand before a vast, silent archive door, the air thick with the dust of decades. Inside lies the sprawling, almost incomprehensible history of Samsung, a name now synonymous with the future, yet rooted in the most fundamental, almost earthy origins. You seek the hidden currents that propelled it from trading food and textiles to shaping digital existence, a journey filled with obscure decisions and forgotten people. Smell the aged paper, feel the rough fabric samples from the textile era. Hear the distant, constant thrumming sound. This section establishes the sheer scale and historical depth of the early conglomerate, highlighting its initial lack of technological focus. This is the first iteration of our symbolic motif, a low, pervasive industrial hum emanating from early manufacturing sites like sugar refineries, representing raw potential and sprawling ambition, yet lacking direction. The surprising diversity of early Samsung Group businesses, sugar, wool, fertilizer, feels like a chaotic foundation. Yet analysts continue to question the reasoning behind this seemingly unfocused diversification, acknowledging paradoxically that it laid the groundwork for immense scale. One major historical milestone is the group's entry into the sugar business in the 1950s, a pivot far removed from its trading roots. A quirky detail? The company's founder initially named the trading firm after a constellation, signifying 3 stars, hinting at aspirations for longevity and strength long before any electronic star twinkled. Your emotional shift is one of initial confusion and awe at the sheer unfocused scale of the enterprise. This era foreshadows the internal tension brewing between tradition and a nascent, undefined desire to build something entirely new, something electronic. Leaving behind the foundational steps of trade and textiles, you now move into a new, electrified era. An era where the company tentatively dips its toes into the complex waters of electronics. This is Samsung's hesitant, often fumbling entry into a market dominated by titans. You witness the intense struggle to gain technical expertise, a steep learning curve, against the backdrop of established international giants who seem to have decades head start. Manufacturing precision is a constant battle. The early products, rudimentary televisions, simple microwaves, feel different. Not in a good way. They're often seen as inferior, derivative copies, lacking refinement. The sensory details are stark. The cheap, brittle plastic casing, the fuzzy static crackling on a CRT screen, the hesitant, stuttering electronic hum that replaces the rhythmic pulse of earlier ventures. Inside the company, there's an intense atmosphere of frustration and doubt. It's a struggle for legitimacy in a world that doesn't seem to take these new products seriously. Anecdotes emerge of early production lines where quality control felt more like damage control. Legend has it, some employees internally nicknamed their first televisions the Ghost Box due to persistent, unexplained interference. Brand historians still debate whether this early phase of struggle was a necessary crucible or a period where the company risked permanently damaging its reputation. But within this frustration, a crucial awareness begins to grow. The need for radical change is undeniable. You sense a subtle envy, a recognition that competitors possess a different kind of design or engineering soul, something this brand desperately needs to find. Building on what came before, you witness the moment the brand stares into the abyss and decides to build a new mountain instead. This isn't just a corporate strategy shift. It's a fundamental, almost spiritual reckoning. Under immense internal pressure, facing the stark reality of their product shortcomings, leaders gather for what becomes known internally as the quality oath, a pivotal declaration often likened to a corporate burn-the-boats moment. You feel the tension in the air, the weight of expectation, as old ways are not just discarded, but sometimes dramatically destroyed. In a now famous, almost mythic event, entire stockpiles of substandard product are gathered and publicly incinerated or smashed, a visceral, unforgettable sacrifice signaling a radical commitment to excellence. This isn't just waste. It's a high-stakes investment in a future where quality is non-negotiable. Analysts continue to question the full financial impact of this purge versus a slower pivot. But its psychological effect is undeniable. The brand's underlying hum motif transforms here. It sheds its uneven frequency, becoming sharper, more precise, an almost unnervingly rhythmic pulse, the sound of machinery painstakingly calibrated for perfection. You see it in the stark cleanliness of the newly upgraded factory floors, even in old photographs. Feel it in the imagined, precise weight of a component designed to exacting standards. The emotional landscape shifts from frantic reaction to grim determination, marked by corporate upheaval, but fueled by a newfound, almost desperate ambition to compete on the global stage. This fierce drive for design and quality foreshadows the inevitable emergence of a specific rival who has already mastered the very ethos Samsung is now fighting to embody, setting the stage for an epic clash. Building on what came before, the brand enters its most intense phase, direct, head-to-head rivalry. You witness Samsung's meteoric ascent in the mobile market, setting the stage for a confrontation with Apple that would define an era. This isn't just competition. It's a high-stakes duel fought simultaneously in design labs, manufacturing plants, and courtrooms across the globe. The strategic pressure to innovate rapidly is immense, demanding constant, almost breathless iteration, a frantic pursuit of features that could capture market share. The brand's core hum transforms profoundly here. It becomes a digital thrum, a high-frequency buzz mirroring or subtly distorting the pulses and notifications of competitor devices, alive with the palpable tension of urgent development cycles and corporate espionage. Designers and engineers work late into the night, fueled by caffeine and adrenaline, the air thick with the frantic hum of servers and brainstorming sessions, hands running over prototype after prototype. You can almost feel the cool touch of glass screens under relentless scrutiny, hear the distinct unlock sounds of rival phones echoing in labs as features are analyzed and benchmarked. This era breeds a pervasive sense of corporate paranoia. Relentless imitation exists alongside sparks of undeniable true innovation, born from the sheer volume of effort. A quirky detail from this time reveals the psychological pressure. Some design teams were reportedly told to keep competitor devices with them at all times, even sleeping beside them, to deeply internalize their form and feel. The psychological toll of being so intensely defined by your rival is heavy. The constant legal battles and patent wars, a draining, often demoralizing drumbeat in the background. Analysts continue to question the long-term wisdom behind the sheer intensity of the imitation strategy during this period, debating whether it ultimately helped or hindered the brand's unique identity. It's a time of brutal competition, shaping the brand not just by what it built, but by who it was fighting. Echoes of creation. Building on the foundation of market leadership, you move into a new phase, one where the familiar hum doesn't simply amplify success, but fragments, searching for a distinct rhythm. No longer content being the powerful alternative, the brand grapples with a complex identity crisis. This is the era where internal debates rage, pushing the boundaries of what it means to be not just a competitor, but a pioneer with intrinsic value. You witness bold, sometimes bewildering design philosophies emerge, testing the waters with experimental materials that feel strange in your hands, or product interfaces that seem confusingly disparate from one device to the next. This is the sound of experimentation. Sometimes a harmonious discovery, often a dissonant clash. A significant turning point arrives with the exploration and eventual abandonment of paths like the BATA operating system. While some models running BATA found niche success, the platform itself never resonated broadly, representing a discontinued product series that wasn't just a product failure, but a strategic fork in the road, revealing deeper uncertainties about relying solely on Android. It's here the brand learns tough lessons about carving its own software destiny. Analysts continue to question the reasoning behind certain parallel OS initiatives during this period, debating if they were necessary experiments or costly distractions. Yet, amidst these stumbles, surprising successes emerge, often from pushing the boundaries of existing lines, like the initial, quirky curved screens that laid groundwork for future flexible displays. The emotional landscape is one of introspection. The brand isn't just chasing market share anymore. It's searching for its soul. This struggle hints at the incredible technological leaps to come, but also reveals the deep-seated challenges in truly shaking off past perceptions and vulnerabilities. You step back now, looking out at a world awash in Samsung's presence. It's a long journey from those first tentative steps, the early struggles, the relentless pivots you've traced, to this pervasive global footprint. The rivalry endures, sharp as ever, yet the landscape is utterly transformed. Samsung's legacy isn't simple. It's a complex weave of audacious growth, technological dominance, and the sheer, almost unbelievable scale of its reach. The early challenges seem almost quaint compared to the contemporary battles fought on fronts from chip fabs to app stores. This pervasive hum, once a symbol of nascent ambition, now feels like the silent background noise of global digital life, a testament less to character perhaps, and more to scale and persistence. You handle a sleek device, noting its seamless integration into your day, a product of cold, efficient production lines churning out millions. There's a sense of awe at this achievement, yet a lingering unease. What was the cost of this relentless ascent? The forgotten individuals, the discarded designs, the moments where function triumphed entirely over unique form. Analysts continue to question whether the relentless pursuit of market dominance has left a void where a deeper, more distinct identity might reside. Samsung's story, in this final analysis, becomes a mirror of global capitalism's relentless drive, its capacity for astonishing transformation, and the perpetual tension between sheer function, elegant form, and fundamental human need. Is this its final perfected chassis? Or just another form factor for a future, unknown transformation yet to come? As the echoes of this incredible journey fade, we're left to ponder the silent legacy. The key takeaway is perhaps the sheer force of will required for such transformation. The constant adaptation necessary not just to survive, but to saturate the world. Samsung's story is a powerful lesson in how resilience and a relentless focus on scale can reshape industries and societies. Its cultural symbolism lies in its representation of a hyper-connected world, where technology is less an external tool and more an integral part of the environment. The lingering unease serves as a reminder that behind every seamless experience and efficient machine are human choices, costs, and consequences. What lessons can we draw? That success at scale demands sacrifice, that identity can be forged and lost in the same relentless fire, and that the quiet hum of ubiquity might drown out the very voice a brand once sought. And maybe, just maybe, the soul of a brand is never in its product, but in the people, stories, and stumbles that shape it.